everyone, and welcome to the Willy Wonka Fibers podcast. My name is Anne, and this is a podcast about my knitting, spinning, um, indie dye business, indie design business, all kinds of crafty good things. If you are a brand new visitor, welcome. Thank you so much for taking a little time out of your day to visit with me. And if you're a returning listener, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. And appreciate the fact that you guys have chosen to spend another episode with me. I think this is episode 24. I'm pretty sure. It'll be in the title because that's where it's correct. But regardless of the episode number, today is Monday, July 18th, 2016. You can find me on the web at www.woolywonkafiber.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook as Willy Wonka Fibers. I have a Ravelry group that is Willy Wonka Fibers. And then if you're interested in my personal Ravelry pages, you can find me on Ravelry as Bunny Spinner. So we are cruising through July. We are halfway through the month, which I can't believe this year. It's obviously a sign that I'm getting old because, right, the older you get, the faster the years go, apparently. This year has flown by, so I'm really not even sure where the time has gotten to, but at any rate, we have been having unseasonably warm weather for us here in July. It's just, you know, day after day in the mid-90s, no rain in sight, fire danger is just out of this world. We're keeping our fingers crossed. I think it was last week on Wednesday night or maybe Thursday night. I woke up around 2 o'clock and looking out across the, out to the east, kind of the northeast, we can see part of the Jemez, part of the Sangres de Cristos mountain range from that side of the house where our bedroom is and our half of our deck is. And out over the ski hill, the Taos ski hill and Taos mountain, there was a ton of heat lightning. It was like almost like fireworks. It went on for probably 45 minutes. And that's scary for us this time of year because when you have those dry lightning strikes and everything is just tinder ready to go like that, that's when the fires start. So they're saying maybe an uptick in the southern flow to pull some moisture in out of the Gulf of Mexico, which is how our monsoon happens here in the summer. We'll see if that actually occurs this week. I'm not really holding out a lot of hope, but even a little rain would be better than none. So let's talk about what I'm working on in the world of knitting. I do have a couple of finished objects to share with you guys this week. The first one is a pair of just plain vanilla stripy socks. These are, the yarn is from Desert Vista Dye Works in the Calvin and Hobbes colorway. And I knit these on US size 1s or 2.25 millimeter needles. I did a 64 stitch leg and a 1x1 just basic rib, fish lips kiss heel, and then my kind of usual rounded boxy toe. You know, nothing crazy, whatever. These are done. They will be going in my box o' socks knit along list. I think this is pair 9 of the 12 that the knit along requires for the year. These will also go towards the Knitting Broomsticks Sock Club 2016 because I'm going to keep these. Yeah, so a fun, quick, easy knit. I mean, nothing crazy, nothing wild, but they are done. A set for the books. Yeah. There'll probably be more plain vanilla socks in the near upcoming future. I have a feeling. I should mention, I guess, that those were knit on the Viso sock base, which is the 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon sock weight base, again in the Calvin and Hobbes self-striping colorway. So those are done. The other project, which I haven't really even talked about it as a work in progress because it got knit so fast, is a pattern called Burke. It is a hat. I will show you the pattern photo. The pattern is by Alicia Plummer, who is Three Little Plums on Ravelry. You kind of can't really tell very much about the hat from that photo, other than that it's not particularly slouchy. It is a fur pay pattern. I think it's either $4 or $4.50, something like that, between $4 and $5. DK weight yarn. It's cabled, and she gives you two options to do a brim, to do the brim. One is just plain ribbing, and the other is actually a double weight, kind of folded, lined ribbed brim. I opted to just do the plain ribbed brim. I knit this from that skein of merino and cashmere handspun that I showed you guys that I had finished last week. I just really wanted to see how it would knit up. It is so soft. It's like soft kitty. And I really enjoyed working with it. The only modification that I made to the pattern was I dropped down to needle size, because I knew the yarn was going to bloom quite a bit, and so I wanted to make sure that it wasn't too loosey-goosey. The one thing I will say about this pattern, and I do really like this pattern. I think it's going to be great to wear for the winter. It's a beanie type fit. So it's not super slouchy, but it does have a little bit of extra, and it covers your ears nicely, which I like. The one thing that I will say about it is you can see the cable pattern here. So it's 3 repeats of that pretty little kind of Y cable. And when you get to the top where you're decreasing to create the crown, which is pretty in and of itself, it's kind of a textured, kind of almost a snowflake pattern. The instructions just say, you know, as you're decreasing, it tells you where to put markers, and you're basically decreasing in the panels. I wasn't exactly sure about what the directions wanted me to do. It has you to work a decrease round and continue working the stitches that are not part of the decrease in pattern, but it doesn't work out very easily. It's because of how the decreases are set up. The pattern, you wind up eating up stitches faster on one side of the cable pattern than the other. So at the end, I just did, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just did a really basic, like rib, for lack of a better term. I just quit doing the cable pattern, and I knit the center stitches in knits, and I knit the stitches on either side of it in purls, and I kind of ate those up as I went along. And it worked out fine, and I think, you know, the decreases on the top actually worked out very prettily. You know, it looks like it has a purpose. If I were to do it again, and I may knit this pattern again because it's obviously a really quick knit, I think I might just, when I get through the last complete cable pattern, just convert everything to stockinette except the little twisted, kind of twisted cable right here, this little one. That's sort of your mark point, and then the decreases happen around it. Anyway, fun project. Used up some handspun. This will go towards the handspun knit along that I'm hosting in my Willy Wonka group on Ravelry. I knit this in like 2 evenings of watching a show. Super quick to knit. Just enough interest. Wearable. All good things. So I have that done, done and ready for when it's not 95 degrees out. So those are the 2 finished objects that I have for this week. Next up, works in progress. One of the things that I wanted to try to do by this past weekend was to get to the halfway point on the project that I'm working on for the Yarn Guys. And I did that. I was able to do that. And so I'm ready to start the second half this week. So I'm going to try to put some time in on it today and tomorrow. This is a project that I've mentioned before. It has multiple cabled charts. And so I have a suspicion that it will not get worked on very much at the end of the week when I'm home from surgery, but today and tomorrow, I'm going to see how much I get done on that. So I'm knitting that project in my Nimue sock base, and that will release at the end of August. It's going to be their September club kit. So working away on that, and that's kind of my priority. Then I have a bunch of other works in progress. So I showed you guys, I think I was maybe halfway up the foot on these. This is the I Love You More Than Pumpkin Spice socks by CC Allman, and I'm knitting this on my Ayrton sock base, which is the merino cashmere nylon in the bittersweet colorway. And so I have sock 1 completely finished, and you can see the back of the leg has this great kind of textured stretchy rib pattern. Let me show you the little pumpkins and pumpkin vines on the leg. You see those? Kind of hard to see them on the sock blockers. So anyway, that runs down the whole front of the leg, and these are toe up. So I have sock number 1 completely finished, and then I just gotten started on sock number 2. So all I have is the beginnings of the toe. I still have a few increase rounds to do to get it to the right size. I have been knitting most of my socks on 2 short circulars, which I've been enjoying, but I realized that when I have a sock that has a lot of patterning on it, like this kind of cable, that I actually prefer going back to my old DPNs. For whatever reason, and it seems really counterintuitive to me, because if you're knitting on the 2 circulars, right, you have half the number of needle ends. You know, you just have the ones at each half. You don't have the ones here in the center. And you would think manipulating more stitches with less needles would be easier, but for me, I don't know, it's just not. I feel like I was working at a glacial pace. It was taking me forever. So I decided to move these cabled socks onto DPN. So I'm knitting these on DPNs this go round. I don't know, call me crazy. Anyway, so 1 sock done, 2nd sock started. I'll work on that as I feel like it. No specific time frame or anything on those. They're just a project I'm working on. And then since I finished my other plain vanilla type socks, I decided to cast on for a pair that I've had the yarn sitting wound up. If you follow Vegan Jilly, who is the host of the Knitting Broomstick podcast, you know that she's been working on her pair of Marianne Dashwood socks, which are in colors that I sent her on my Erin Road sock, which is the glitter sock base. These are actually on my Rhiannon sock base, but it's the same colorway. So the kind of dark rose is Miss Marianne Dashwood. That's a tonal dye. And then the speckle dye is Chawton Cottage. I always want to say college. What is up with that, you guys? Chawton Cottage. So that's the speckle dye. And so my plan is to do cuffs, probably heels and toes out of the contrast color. Again, Miss Marianne Dashwood, that pink. And then do the body of the sock in the Chawton Cottage colorway. And so my plan is to take these with me, you know, to the hospital on Wednesday to have, as we're sitting and admitting and we're sitting waiting for stuff, sitting waiting like you do when you do anything with the medical field these days. So anyway, these will be my kind of take along brainless socks. So I probably won't work on those again until Wednesday, just to have them to take. And I'm taking them in my Suburban Stitcher Batik bag, which is the perfect size for a pair of socks. And you know, it's impossible to feel at all grouchy when you look at these beautiful, bright, happy, cheerful colors. So those are on the needles. Looking at my show note list. Oh, and then I don't know. I really don't know sometimes what my brain thinks is smart. But this weekend I decided I was going to cast on a garment for myself. One of the things that I think I've talked about kind of over the podcast is I would really like to get myself some staples made, some things I can wear with jeans, or that I could wear with something slightly dressier when I am vending at shows or when I go to teach. Something not covered with dye, but that's a wardrobe staple. And I'm trying to work through my stash, my yarn stash, which is prolific. So I decided that I wanted to cast on a garment that I've had this pattern in my queue for quite a while. It's basically a layering piece, and I think I would only wear it with long sleeves underneath it. I don't, especially with the yarn I'm knitting it in, which I'll talk about in a minute. Anyway, this is Boardwalk, not the new Boardwalk that Stephen West just released, but Boardwalk from Brooklyn Tweeds Wool People Volume 3. So it's been out a while, by Heidi Kermeyer. And if you're at all familiar with her designs, they tend to be very, very basic, kind of drapey stockinette pieces. Very wearable. Just, I don't know, they had never grabbed me before, but this particular top has such nice detail. It's got the kind of things that you would expect from like a couture dress, something that would be in that, you know, just every little thing has been thought through. And yes, there's a lot of stockinette in this piece. I'm not going to lie to you about that, but it has this pretty set of twisted rib stitches on the little cap sleeves. I don't know if you can see that in this picture, but I'll link to it in the show notes. You can see it. And it's got a really pretty neck detail and kind of a welted bottom hem. And basically every single comment in the 550 odd finished pieces, it said, this garment is so wearable. I've made 2, I've made 3, I wear it with everything. It's a great little extra changing season piece. So I decided, you know what, I've got the yarn and stash that's going to work for it. I'm just going to put it on the needles. So what I picked, this yarn, I got this yarn in 1999. That's not even like in this current decade, you guys. Just saying. It's from a while ago, and it's been in stash for a while. It is Scottish Campion, which is what Alice Starmore had milled before she became Alice Starmore Virtual Yarns and had all of her own mill, own color, own everything. This is in the Moget colorway. It's kind of a warm caramel brown, natural colored Shetland. Very, very lightly tweedy. It's not a particularly heavily tweeded yarn. But I have plenty. I think I'm going to have extra left over that I can probably do something else with. But I have finished the 2 welted hem pieces, and I've gotten those joined. You can see that they kind of have a little split hem detail happening there. So obviously not blocked. But there is the texture pattern for the hem, and then I've started just the plain stockinette. And the whole body is just plain stockinette in the round, which I thought would also be maybe a good post-surgery project. There's 3 sets of decreases from the hem itself, and I've already done one, and I have 2 more rounds to do, and then I have the second of the 3. So I think even in kind of a befuddled state, the little judicious use of progress keepers, stitch markers, I should be able to handle stockinette in the round, I'm hoping. So anyways, so this is cast on, and it's going to kind of be my summer project to hopefully have for cooler weather this fall. And I have a pair of tweed, kind of Katharine Hepburn-y type pants that I wear. They're wool tweed that this will go with perfectly. But I can see it styled this way too, with a denim shirt and a black skirt or pair of black slacks. Just really versatile. I'm really looking forward to wearing this. So whenever I get it finished, I get it finished. I will note that the Scottish Campion is a little bit finer spun than the Brooklyn Tweed Loft, the fingering weight. So I dropped down from a size 3 to a size 2 needle, but got gauged spot on with that. And I figured I probably would have to I've worked with this yarn before, and so if you're not doing color work with it, it does benefit from a size 2 and not a size 3 needle. So probably a long-term project because it is on kind of tiny needles, but you know, I have a lot. I think it's 11 inches of stockinette in the round, so I have a lot of stockinette that I can kind of work on without feeling like I have to think about it very much. So that is currently what I have on the needles as we speak. Spinning. Let's move on to spinning. This is the last week of Tour de Fleece, and so I know there's a lot of folks who are really doing some power spinning right now. That is not me. I'm spinning every day, but I just have a lot of stuff going on that I'm trying to get done around the house and kind of get ready for everything on Wednesday. So whatever I get done is making me happy, and that's fine with me. So the first up is a finished spin that I have to share with you guys. This is the Hedgehog Fibers Club Fiber. Get that to, it does not want to give me some color. There we go. This is a blend of wool, black alpaca, silk, and glitter. It has lots of glitter, which you guys can see. I spun this into a 2-ply fingering weight. It's actually more like a light fingering weight. And I came up with 4 full ounces, and I believe it was 457 yards. I actually don't have that written down, so therefore that number is not in my brain. But it came out great. The drape on this is so soft. It's just really beautiful. It's sleek, but it's soft. I think it's going to make a beautiful shawl. Really enjoyed this spin. It spun up like a breeze. It spun up like nothing. I thought I would be slogging through it. The singles just zipped on by. So anyway, this was another spin the bin project. We'll go to that. We'll go to stash down yardage. I think I want to say this is week 6. Let me look at my date planner here really quickly, you guys. Oh boy, I am totally off. This is week 8 of Stash Dash, and I'm at about 8,900 meters, I think. I think that's right, with the 2 finished objects that I've got and this skein. Chug along on that. Some of the yardage, you know, kind of hasn't been counted in the sense that, like, the piece that I'm doing for the Yarn Guys, it's going to be 2 skeins of the Ninui sock, and so I've knit like 425 yards, but I haven't counted it yet because the project's not done. But that will be done, so it'll be 800 and some odd, well, 800-ish meters, 791 meters, something like that, towards the final total. We'll get there. Anyway, finished spin, that is done in the books. I then started a new spin, also Spin the Bin fiber. Grab some tea here. This is a 2F by hand fiber. It is the 80/20 Merino Silk blend roving. The colorway is Sandy Beach. And I have already split my roving, so you guys are seeing it in the not so pretty form, but it's turquoise and teal, a little bit of silver gray, and then pops of really bright yellow, which I'm loving. I have the first bobbin of singles spun up. I'm shooting for a DK-ish, sport to DK-ish weight on this one, so not spinning it super, super fine. But the first bobbin is done, and I'm spinning this as a fractal spin. So this bobbin had the, I split the 4 ounces of roving in half, so there's two 2-ounce sections. This section, I then split those 2 ounces into 3 long strips, but the color runs are fairly long because it's 3 strips. The second bobbin that I'm spinning, and this is what I have left, I split the roving into 6 skinnier pieces. So one bobbin will have the longer color runs, this bobbin will have the slightly shorter color runs, and so there'll be some parts where there's some barber pulling and some parts where the colors will line up fairly closely. So my goal is to spin half of what's left of the roving today and half tomorrow. The singles will be done. I will ply at some point in the future when I feel like spinning again. So I think that's it. I haven't decided what my next Spin the Bin project's going to be, but I'm leaning towards a sock yarn blend and do it as a true 3-ply, spin it really skinny, do a 3-ply. Excuse me. Oh, allergies are so bad this year. Sorry about that. Kind of snuck up on me. I think I'm going to do that. That'll be, I won't get that done before the tour. I probably won't even get this plied before the tour is done. But the tour does finish up on Sunday, Sunday the 24th. I'll finish pulling prizes for that and get those shipped off. If you've been participating in the Willy Wonka Fibers group, please do get your finished skein photos into the FO thread. You're welcome to continue chatting in whatever way, shape, or form you would like to do. It's been really fun. It's been fun to see everybody's daily or daily-ish photos kind of showing us your progress. And I hope everybody's been enjoying the tour this year. Like I said, normally I do kind of commando spinning, and this year much more relaxed. So that's okay. I've still gotten quite a bit of spinning done, and I'm very happy with that. So, no complaints here. Gives you just, an excuse to do some spinning. I think that's it for everything I have to show you guys. I did want to spill the beans on a fun and exciting new thing that's coming. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen the little sneak peek, but I'm very excited to announce that I have been working on a collaborative design collection effort with my friend Kathleen Dames. If you are somebody who has been a fan of the Jane Austen knits collections, I believe Kathleen's had a pattern in every single one of those, but she also designs for interweave knits, and I'm 99% sure she had pieces in the Enchanted Knits collection, and she's also does independent designs, and she's got a great podcast that focuses on sweater knitting. So if you haven't had a chance to run into Kathleen and her gorgeous designs, please do go look her up on Ravelry. She also has an Instagram feed under Kathleen Dames, D-A-M-E-S. And anyway, how this came about was Kathleen and I both had patterns in the Second Jane Austen Knits collection. And we got chit-chatting about each of our designs in kind of a mutual admiration society. Um, and we become friends over email, and we had been chatting about various and sundry things. And we both approached designing from, I think, a very similar point. I don't think our designs necessarily are similar, but in terms of how we think about the process and the detail and the construction and things that influence us, definitely, we are kindred spirits. So we got chatting about, well, wouldn't it be fun to do something that was a joint effort? And then that idea kind of snowballed, and we began chatting some more about it, and we decided, you know what, let's just do this. Let's do a collection and see how it goes. And if we love the process and don't hate each other when we come out the far end, maybe we'll do this as like a quarterly magazine. That would be fun. So September 1st, we will be launching our very first collection together. It's going to be under the banner called Filament. And if you've seen our logo, it's a really great kind of old-fashioned looking light bulb. The light bulb went off. And this very first collection is going to be perfect for fall. It's all kinds of wonderful tweedy knits with a 1930s vintagey feel to it. Things aren't, we're not trying to recreate vintage garments, but our motivating factor or our inspiration behind the collection was the sort of feel of the 1930s and some of the social history things. So for instance, one of Kathleen's designs in the collection is called Rumble Seat. She's got a pair of accessories themed on Bonnie and Clyde. We've got my two sweaters are named after Claudette Colbert and Carole Lombard. I love Carole Lombard. She's absolutely one of my favorite movie stars from the 1930s, mostly because I think she had a wonderful sense of humor about the studio system. If you don't know much about Carole Lombard, she was Clark Gable's third wife, and she died very young in a plane crash. But even though Clark Gable married 3 other times after her, she is who he chose to be buried with, if that gives you any indication of what he thought of her. I guess she had kind of an oddball sense of humor and was a little bit earthy. And anyway, she is the inspiration behind one of the garments that I've got in the collection. And so we're going to be doing some sneak peeks over the month of August. We do have an Instagram account that is, if you search for Filament, Filament, you can find that feed. So there will be information and photos that will pop up in there, as well as our respective designer feeds on Instagram. I certainly will be talking about this in my Willy Wonka Fibers group as well, and on Facebook, and here on the podcast. I shot all the photos for the collection, and so I actually have all of the pieces here, so you guys will get to see them. I'll probably do a couple each week that I podcast in August, so you will be able to see the collection as a preview here. We will be taking pre-orders. So you'll have a couple of different options. If you want to get in on the patterns, you can get the ebook collection, all 8 patterns, off of Ravelry as a set. You can get the individual patterns as downloads, PDF downloads off of Ravelry. And then we will also have print copies. And we've got some promotional things and some sort of batch purchase options. You know, if you buy the print book, you get the ebook for free, that kind of thing, as we get closer. But I wanted to mention this so you guys were prepared and ready and hopefully excited about this venture. I will say she and I had such a great time putting this together that we already have a spring 2017 issue mapped out. We've got colorways and theme picked. We've tentatively decided on our summer collection for next year. We've already got a winter 2017 for the end of 2017 collection that I'm really excited about. I've already started to get some yarn stocked up for that. It's lurking over there on my project table, which you guys cannot see, but it is there. There's a little stack of yarn that I've got. Everything's all bagged up and labeled. So anyway, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really excited to share these designs with you guys. Talk a little bit about their inspiration, talk about the yarns that we've used. If you are somebody in the Austin area, this collection will be at the Happy U, Misty's Happy U in Jonestown as part of the Yarn Crawl, because I will be doing a book signing for this collection there. That is advance notice. You guys are the first to know. So I'm really excited about that and really excited to be able to share those things with you guys when I am back in August. So I will say that I think next week, next Monday, the 25th, I am going to take a break, not do a podcast, just still kind of try to get my feet under me from surgery, which is this Wednesday. I appreciate all of your good wishes. I've gotten a ton of emails, personal messages, little messages on Instagram. I really appreciate that you all are thinking about me. I'm not going to email everybody back individually. I'm sorry. I think that's a lot to ask of my husband. He's already kind of a mess, and asking him to like pull it together and get an email list and send a notice out, I think is beyond his capabilities Wednesday afternoon or whenever we get done with the surgery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to either myself, if I'm up to it, or have him do it, email my friend Toby, who is one of the co-moderators on the Willy Wonka Fibers group, and give her the all clear and that everything's fine, that we got through it all. And so then she will put a note in the Willy Wonka Fibers forum, just letting everybody know that, all clear, all good, everything's done. And then I will, follow up on that when I'm back home and upright and want to write emails on the computer and all of that. So if you have interest, feel free to check in over there. I have no idea what time things are finishing up. I won't know till we get there and it's done. So at any rate, at some point on Wednesday, you guys will, she will post a notice there for you guys just to let you know any news. But otherwise, I think that's it. So I hope that you guys have a great couple of weeks here, finishing up the tour, finishing up the end of July. I know that's already going to kick us into August, which is when start to think about back to school already, which is crazy. Whew, summer has gone by so fast. So until I talk to you guys again, enjoy your time with your family, your friends, all your crafty goodness projects. Have a wonderful couple of weeks, and I will talk to you in August. Take care, everyone.